So I finally bought a webcam. I can't really tell if it's any better. Looks like it's worse than the mobile camera. But whatever. Uh, One more step towards being a professional YouTuber. Right. So I wanted to do a little update on the carnivore diet. I've been on it for close to 3.5 months now. I started in May, and I feel like it's time to make a uh, little update video. So, generally speaking, everything is great. All of the good symptoms are still going on. Uh, I've experienced one very weird thing that's happened like 2 or maybe 3 times during all this time. Some cases, I ate a lot before going to bed, and then I woke up like an hour later, and I like threw up just out of the blue, and immediately after throwing up, I felt great again. I mean, I don't know what the hell this is. I think it's some kind of like gastric reflux or whatever acid reflux thing. Maybe, or maybe it's some tainted meat or whatever. But this like really weird thing has happened a few times. So I hope it's not going to happen again. And I have no real idea what causes it. So what else? I'm thinking about introducing fasting again, since I think I'm totally adapted to the meat all around by now. And there's a real controversy going on. So uh, I got thrown out of 2 carnivore groups for advocating fasting. Uh, since all the people in the carnivore groups, most of them are like they're not like a representative sample of the population, because they all came to carnivore, or most of them or many of them came to carnivore because they were like insanely addicted to carbs, or they had some like really hard autoimmune issues. So for these people, like mm, they're like so afraid that if they fast for a bit, they will lose control of themselves and eat some crap and really harm themselves. So there's this like dogma. It's really like orthodoxy that fasting is unequivocally bad, and it's like called starvation. And yeah, I got thrown out of 2 groups, and then I got in a Twitter fight just recently, today actually, with some 10-year veteran carnivore who like told me like, no, fasting is totally counterproductive. So these people don't realize that if you adhere to the principle that we're doing this carnivore diet mainly because, or the main like empirical, or not empirical, or but the main like argument is that it was evolutionarily so that people ate meat, then you can't just pick and choose and say no, fasting is bad. And this woman told me that uh, no caveman fasted because they thought it was good for them. It was just a necessity. Well, by the same argument, or by the same token, you could say that eating meat was also not. They didn't understand the rationale between eating meat, but they did it because the environment just forced them to do it. So anyway, these people have like a problem with understanding the rationale for fasting, and they try to like scientifically prove it's not necessary. A totally wrong-headed approach. What else? What else? I think I've convinced some people to do it, the diet. So I met this Irish girl at the music festival, and she told me she had problems like arthritis and whatnot, and it seemed to tick all the boxes that the carnivore diet is supposed to help. So I advocated it to her, and to my great surprise, she actually is doing it, and we'll see what happens to her health. And in addition, of course, my mother is still doing it, and it's doing great. And lots of people like are interested, and they sort of ask me about it, and they say, "Oh, you're still alive. Are you really just only eating this meat and cheese and whatever?" So the idea has a lot of like immediate. I mean, I can see people like intuitively get that it's right, and then they get like cognitive dissonance to try to explain why they're still not just doing it. Whatever they like the taste of vegetables or blah blah blah. They're not radical or But I think it's probably really gonna catch on. I thought in the beginning that it's so radical that only people like crazy people like me would do it, but I think it's gonna go pretty much mainstream at some point, like paleo is right now. Mm, yeah. So what else? What else? I decided to go pretty much just meat. So uh, cheese is like I ate cheese with the rationale that it doesn't have lactose, and then I ate it because I put it on my ground beef to make it like go down better. But it's just suboptimal to eat cheese. I think it's if it. I mean, I thought about it that if it causes constipation in larger amounts, and meat doesn't cause constipation in any amounts, then it's clearly suboptimal. So it's like ta-da, goodbye to cheese. Mm, Probably goodbye to milk on my coffee as well. Again, it just makes the coffee more palatable, and actually, I shouldn't be drinking coffee. So it's an addiction, and I should try to quit. It's really, 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 really hard to quit coffee when you're a journalist like me. I mean, you can quit smoking, you can even quit drinking, but if you have like, you have to have something like some pleasure. Like I can't just subsist on meat because I need like something that gives me a kick or gives me a high or something like that. And the other option would be to occasionally eat like honey or something and get a rush from that. But I don't think it's a good idea. Might be a slippery slope type of deal. Uh, yeah, I've actually maybe it's interesting. At some points I've consumed like carbs. I talked about this before. It just gives you such a rush. It's crazy. So it's totally. It's like getting high, like an euphoric feeling if I eat any amount of carbs. But yeah, I'm trying to tweak this diet to be like more revolutionary than it already is, and so I'm thinking about doing a couple of fasts. I'm going on vacation soon, so that's a good time to test that stuff out. And I'm also quitting butter because I used butter on like steaks because the steaks here are too lean. But I think I really can't be butter with the steak anymore. I mean, I'm sorry to say, but they're like suboptimal steaks. They're not the real deal. They don't have fat, and I think I'm better off just eating like beef, ground beef. Yeah. So we have an option of eating like pig ground beef. I don't know if that's maybe a weird thing for like U.S. people, but I'm gonna just probably eat ground beef and drink water and try to kick the coffee habit and the booze. The booze is not a problem, but always better to have less of it and less of nicotine. And then I'll have this like ascetic monk life, and I'll be wondering like, what is the purpose? Like, where do I get my kicks? I have to get them somewhere. And sports, you can only do so much sports, and you can only do so much reading, and you know, I'm trying to tweak stuff so everything just fits together well. So anyway, yeah, enough of this rant, or not rant, but whatever it is.